It means no worries for the rest of your days. Yes, it's a very problem-free morning. Lovely Wednesday. Your Let's Talk station, 95.1 Nigeria Info, 8th day of October. It's turned out to be a Wednesday, and we are making sure that the airwaves are just busy and exciting. So you just have a swell time. Yes, the morning has been really up and kicking and going. So much has happened on the airwaves, but then we are set to continue. Today, Wednesday, 8th, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, they have a huge day, especially given the way this round of 16 have started. The host nation has been knocked out of the competition. Oh yes, I brought us updates from the Under-20 World Cup that is going down in Chile. News, and of course we have some things from the camp of the Super Eagles. We have some tennis updates. In fact, it's looking like a tour of Asia in tennis, in Wuhan, in Shanghai. Matches are just going down. The seeds are trying to see how far they can go and what they can definitely achieve, before the season comes to a close. The season has come to a close when you look at maybe Grand Slams, but then, the WTAs and the ATPs, they are still going down. Okay, so we have updates from there. Of course, we have the dailies with us. So we'll look at the dailies to bring us some news. And a little bit of cricket news this morning will not hurt anybody. Welcome, Abuja. This is Sports Drive. Kachi is my name. You can call me Sporty Chick, the queen of sports. In fact, let's start our updates from cricket this morning. A little bit of cricket news. Australia captain, that is Pat Cummins. Yes, he has not resumed bowling after suffering a back injury, and he will miss the opening Ashes test. Yes, that'll be against England in Perth in late November. According to the reports we're having from multiple local media, the 32-year-old fast bowler is recovering from a lower back stress injury that has troubled him since Australia's tour of the West Indies earlier this year. And the Sydney Morning Herald, citing sources, reported that the back scan last week revealed the injury had not yet healed, and it's ruling Cummings out of the Perth clash and putting in doubt his participation in all 5 tests in the blockbuster series. If you know Team Australia, you know what Pat Cummings means to them. Apart from the fact that he's their captain, he also, comes correct. So we wish him the quickest of recovery, and let's see how it goes. Keep an eye on him. And in tennis this morning, let's get straight to Wuhan in Asia, where British number 1, that is Emma Raducanu. She had her blood pressure and temperature taken before retiring from her first round encounter with American Ann Lee. Yes, at the Wuhan Open. Raducanu looked really devoid of energy, and she appeared to struggle with the hot and humid conditions as she trailed 6-1 and then 4-1 in. She was already trailing in China at the world number 30. Called for the trainer after falling a double breakdown in the second set before retiring. So the WTA website said Raducanu retired because of dizziness, that she wasn't really stable. She was just so very dizzy, and play was suspended on all outdoor courts on Monday because of the heat. The heat is just too much. Raducanu posted a screenshot of her phone that showed a temperature of 34 degrees. So they are not able. A lot of players are not able to take it. She, one of those players, and it just affected her game. And then in other news in tennis, let's let you know that Novak Djokovic overcame injury issues and sweltering heat as he beat Duame Muna to continue his bid for a 5th Shanghai Masters title. The 24 Grand Slam champion, he appeared to struggle with an ankle injury, and he called for the trainer on a number of occasions to receive treatment, but then he persevered to win 6-3, 5-7, and then 6-2. In fact, on Sunday, Djokovic, he actually threw up. Yes, he vomited during his win over Yannick Halfman in the previous round, which was played in temperatures of over 30 degrees and 80% of humidity. So what I've noticed is that, both in Wuhan and in Shanghai, In fact, all the ATPs and WTAs happening across Asia, players have complained about heat and heat and heat, about the hot temperature. I don't know. Just like when we have different World Cups and it's raining and the weather, players are supposed to adjust. If you're not able to, it's going to affect your game and then you crash out and the competition is going to continue. But I would love also for organizers to take note of some of these, difficulties that players have to face in different sports competition. Yes, sports will have to go on, but sometimes maybe the timing can be adjusted a bit, something like that. Or you can also bring in some artificial stuff just to help the weather, especially around the courts, around the pitches. And it wasn't when we went to Qatar for the World Cup. I remember, all the stadia, cooling. They had their ACs inside, so they just seal the roof of the different stadia, and then the whole environment will be very cool, so that players will not be passing out. But even after all that they did in Qatar, we still have observing water break. Yes, because of the heat. So that's the update from Wuhan and Shanghai with regards to the ATPs and WTPs that are going on at this time. That's some tennis update. Follow me. Let's run over to football. The lines are always open. 0700-951-0000 and 0809-597-4869. So any of the updates you have a thing to say on, please feel free to call in, or you can send a message to WhatsApp. That is 0809-9930137. Because of the limited time we have on the drive, I don't encourage voice notes in the morning, except you can do a voice. Can you do a voice note of 15 seconds? That's fine. If you can make your voice note just within 15 seconds, then we can take it. Okay? Yes. Let's go over to some football news this morning. In football this morning, let us know that. Okay, let me start with MPFL. Our teams that we're busy on the continent, they're beginning to have their rescheduled fixtures. Okay. Yes, they have Kwara United and, of course, Abia Warriors. These teams were on the continent for the CAF Confederations Cup, right? And they've even crashed out of the competition. So they have some games in hand, and some of those fixtures are now being rescheduled. Like Kano Pillars will take on Kwara United today by 4 p.m. and Rangers International will take on Abia Warriors, same time, 4 p.m. So Kwara and Abia busy trying to also catch up with the rest of the squad. And in Africa, we have the World Cup qualification series. Yes, start kicking off today by 2 p.m. Eswatini will take on Angola. Ethiopia versus Guinea-Bissau. There'll be Libya, Cape Verde, and there'll be Mauritius taking on Cameroon. And then in 5 p.m. window, Central Africa versus Ghana, Chad versus Mali, Comoros taking on Madagascar, Djibouti versus Egypt, and there'll be Sierra Leone versus Burkina Faso. 8 p.m. window, just have two fixtures, Niger Republic versus Congo, and Tanzania taking on Zambia. Of course, we have progress. This is the kickoff of match day 9 in the World Cup qualification series in CAF. Within member nation of CAF. Then after this, by next week, we'll also start having match day 10, and that will be the end of the qualification. So if you really cannot do something with your matches and the match day 9 and then day 10, just count yourself out of the World Cup. Okay, so that's the situation. Meanwhile, let me also remind us that we are live. Yes, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. At Nigeria Info Abuja, we are live on Facebook. It just gives you this opportunity to watch and then listen at the same time, and of course connect with other Nigeria Info lovers. At Nigeria Info Abuja, that's on Facebook. At Nigeria Info Abuja, same, that's on YouTube. Okay, still on football updates. Today we have the Flying Eagles. They have a date. Before we get to the Flying Eagles, let's just tell you that, yes, the World Cup, the Under-20 World Cup, the first match of the round of 16, Chile Under-20, they were beaten by Mexico Under-20. Completely knocked out. It was something. 4-1. I was like, hey, you don't treat host nations like this. You don't do host nations like this. This is not nice. This is not fair. Honestly, Mexico were just better. They were just stronger. In fact, they scored 4 whole goals before in the 88th minute. Rizal just it just gave Chile fans maybe something to cheer. They didn't even cheer. It was just a consolation kind of goal. So that's how the game ended 4-1. Chile won and Mexico 4. Okay, so after that, we'll now have all the matches in the under-20 World Cup round of 16 that will be happening today. Like Nigeria will be playing today, and a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are concerned against the Argentina. What do you really make of that game? What is your prediction? I think I'd even love to hear your prediction. If you think the last time Nigeria and Argentina played was in 2020, and it was still this World Cup, and it was still this round of 16. And the Flying Eagles of that time, because it's not the same team, obviously. The Flying Eagles of that time, they were able to beat Argentina. But can this set of players repeat same feat? Some people have said they're not impressed with this crop of under-20 boys, but Argentina under-20 versus Nigeria under-20 will be happening today by 8:30 p.m. And still 8:30, Colombia under-20 versus South Africa under-20. I remember people saying African teams got really tough pairing for the round of 16. So you can talk Nigeria versus Argentina. Yes, ready to hear from you. Don't forget, I said we are live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. I can see some messages coming in. Maybe we can squeeze a call or two as well. I said if you can keep the voice. Somebody sending me. Okay, that is not for me, of course. A minute and 45 seconds. Okay, we have this one. Okay, it's a delight. Good morning, Sports Drive. It's a delight. Okay, my name is Osh from Abuja. It's a delight to hear your voice this morning, Kachi. I will have to embark on 40 days. Osh says I will have to embark on 40 days and 40 nights fasting because the Super Eagles must qualify for this World Cup. And then being a host nation is comes with so much pressure, to be honest. Also, why do we always seem to be meeting Argentina? Okay, host nation, speaking about the under-20 World Cup, right? Chile. The pressure is always out of this world, my brother. I agree with you. It's not always easy. Yes, we've taken some stories from cricket and tennis, but we have dailies as always. So let's go through the dailies and bring you some interesting sports headlines on Vanguard newspaper. Back page, we have a Vanguard Sports, a World Cup qualifier. Bad news for Nigeria as Zimbabwe offer no hope against South Africa. This caption, okay, so some Nigerians are like, Zimbabwe can beat South Africa, Zimbabwe can do this one and do that one. They can beat, Nigeria will beat Lesotho, and then Zimbabwe will beat South Africa for us, because it's for us now on Friday. So they might just be missing out. Bafana, they are strong favorites to beat, Zimbabwe on Friday. So no, it's looking like hell. This is our prayer. In other news on Vanguard Sport, let's see another headline. 2026 World Cup qualifier, 18 Super Eagles storm Polokwane camp. Yes, we updated us yesterday. The last player that touched down camp was at yesterday evening that I checked up on the Eagles. Yes, it was Benjamin Frederick. Before then, we had 17 players trooping at once. Truce Ekong, Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, Chris Santos, Uche, Wilfred Ndidi, Bruno Onyemaechi, Terem Murphy, Moses Simon, Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze. We had Frank Onyeka as well, touching down in camp. Tolu Aroko Dare, Shemi Ajayi, Stanley Nwabali, Adebayo Adeleye, and Amos Obasogie. These players even had a training yesterday, 6 p.m. local time. And then afterwards, we got another update, from the media officer, promised that Benjamin Frederick is dropped there. He's touched down in camp, and he's making the numbers now 18. So we have 18 players in camp. More training this Wednesday for the boys, and hopefully more players would also touch down. Have another one. In fact, the Vanguard Sports, everything looking like World Cup. A lot of the stories, yes, around the World Cup. They have another one here. 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Gian charges Black Stars to seal World Cup qualification in style. Another one is the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Bafana deserve to be at the World Cup. That's their coach. Coach Bruce says they deserve. They've played for it. They fought for it. They started early. They did everything right so that they deserve to be at the World Cup. I'm wondering, do you agree with him? If a team decides to come to the party late, but then maybe just do everything right and qualify, would you say they do not deserve? I always tell people to continue conversations on Sports Drive. Just go to our Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. Most times I will be there to make sure that we'll continue the conversation. Leadership newspaper, it's still, yes, FIFA unveils over $1 billion investment in African football. Yes, that's what I got the update even yesterday. Gianni Infantino he announced a groundbreaking investment exceeding $1 billion in African football since the inception of the FIFA Forward program in 2016. That's saying that they have invested, that FIFA has invested $1 billion in African football since 2016. And so many people are opening one eye to look at their different federations. Hello, $1 billion. Why is it looking like it's the money is touching some countries more and it's not touching some other countries the way it's touching some countries? Well, that is story for another day, but this is where we wrap it up. Join us later in the evening for more sports update with particular focus on football by 7 p.m. when we take you through Football Frenzy. But for this morning, up next is What's Happening Abuja with the billionaire LFZ. Kachi is my name. Good morning, Abuja. Jagalaga.